Hello again, thanks for coming back. So, in the last video, you saw me putting down the silver on the helmet we just masked up. In this video now, we've actually got a different helmet here. We're going to start drawing on the silver damage. Now, the way that we paint these helmets is known as a layered paint job. The current... Oh, I've got one painted up here. Okay, now... I'll give you a quick look over this helmet because I haven't really shown off a painted one yet. Yeah, here it is. This is an Empire Strikes Back helmet. And this one will be painted up. Probably should have mentioned that earlier. I think I did. Still needs a couple more finishing touches, but it's pretty much finished. Here is the back panels. Kill stripes, and back to the front. Okay, so the way we paint this, it's known as a layered paint job. Basically, we paint, each colour you see is an individual layer. So we build up each colours on top of each other until we get the finished piece. So, with the back panels, now the colour I used for the cream is a little bit off. We'll be using a different colour on the next helmet. The idea is we'll paint the silver first. So we paint the entire piece silver, we'll draw on the silver damage, and then we'll mask it off with some masking fluid. Once the masking fluid have dried, we paint on the next colour on top of the masking fluid, which is the grey. So we painted the entire piece grey. Once the grey have dried, we peel off the masking fluid, which then will reveal the silver. So we'll have the silver and the grey. We then repeat the process. So we mask up not just the silver, but also the grey sections as well. Okay, so once that's masked, we paint on the next colour, which is the cream colour. Once the cream have dried, we remove the tape to reveal the silver and grey damage. Then we do the same again, but this time masking out the cream damage as well. Painting it green, we pull off all the masking fluid to reveal the finished panels. So that's the process we're going to be looking at today. Put this down somewhere. Now, to get the silver damage as accurate as we can, we're going to do a stenciled paint job. Now for these we use stencils, and these were created by member Boba Fett, I believe, on the dented helmet. I'll put a link below the show if he doesn't mind. If he does, I won't put a link. You'll have to search for it yourself. These are the templates here. I've scaled them to my helmet. You're going to have to scale yours yourself. It's a little bit of trial and error. But these fit perfectly on my panels. Now, I bet you're thinking, how do these help? How do we use these? So, what we use, I don't know if I've already shown this. I'm filming these videos kind of back to back. Is trace down paper. Basically this is reverse tracing paper, and the way we use this is, okay, so firstly get your stencil and get your helmet, okay, take your tape, this might be difficult with my gloves on, pull your tape off, and you want to tape your stencil. I don't know if you can actually see me doing this. No, you can't. I'll move the camera now. Okay, so what I've done is I've attached some tape to the top of the stencil. That's the yellow section. We're just going to tape this down so it fills out our back panel. Make sure it's on correctly. There we go. There's our back panel taped on. Okay. And what you do is you take the trace down paper. Right, I bought this from my local hobby craft store. It's fairly cheap. I think in the States it's known as graphite paper. Over here it's wax paper. I think it's about £2 something for an A4 sheet and £3 something for an A3 sheet. Get the A3, cut it in half, you have two A4s. Okay, So with this paper, I've gone for the white. I usually go for black, but I accidentally picked up this white one. Get the white. Okay, here it is. Now, don't touch this side, as all the wax will come off, and you won't just have a bit of tracing paper then. So what you do is you take the wax paper, with your helmet, and you place this paper underneath the stencil, like so. Just slide it under. It's kind of hard doing this to camera. Okay, next up you need a nice sharp pencil. Okay, and you quite simply draw around the silver damage. This really is all there is to it. Make sure you don't go outside the lines of the stencil. Try and keep it inside. You want it to be accurately sized. I don't know if you can see very well what I'm doing. I'm trying to make it a better shot for you guys. So all you're doing is just drawing around the silver damage on the helmet. And what this trace down paper will do is exactly what tracing paper does. It leaves a mark on the other side. It's not an incredibly strong mark, but it's enough for you to see. What you want to do then is you want to get some reference images of the helmet next year, and you masking fluid the silver damage on. I'll just finish up these one little sections. Apologies for the boringness of this, but you want to know how to paint the helmet, and this is how you do it. Okay. That section there. Just finishing up the bottom piece here. It's kind of I can't think of the word, irritating when you get to the bottom of the piece. You usually find that your pencil slips off the page. Just double check that we got all the silver. Means I was talking to the camera. Now what you do, remove your trace down paper, like so. And then, hopefully this shows up on camera, when you remove the piece, there you have all your silver damage traced on, and you can repeat this process, and you get the other panel done as well, which I did earlier, just to make sure it worked. But that's pretty much it now. We've got this little detail section to do now. Here, there's not much silver in that area. Then we'll start masking the helmet out, but that is how you use the stencils. That's how I use the stencils anyway. It's worked very well. Alright. It's pretty simple to use. Get yourself your rubber brush, like we mentioned before. It's a safety cap top. This stuff does smell. Okay, and you quite simply get a little dab on the brush, not a little bit too much. And you just quite simply paint the damage on. But when you're doing this, you need to make sure you stay inside the lines. If you go outside the lines, your damage is going to be slightly overscaled, and it might not work with the rest of the stencil. Probably make it work, but it just wouldn't look right. So when you're applying this, take your time with it. There's no rush. Well, it is because it does start to dry. But make sure you stay inside all the lines. as you apply this stuff. It's quite a tedious process, this one is. It can be enjoyable, but after you've painted about 7-8 of these helmets, it does get very repetitive. Much like masking up the helmet, this is a similar process for the rest of it. I won't be documenting each time you mask up the helmet with this fluid. It takes a while to do each individual layer. Bear in mind, this has to be done for every colour. So on the back panels we have 1, 2, 3, 5 colours, so this will have to be done 5 times. So you can see the work involved. That's why usually when you get a Boba Fett helmet commission, they're quite a lot of money to get painted. If you do get lost, as I said before, the transfer is sometimes a little bit dodgy. Keep your reference handy. I've got mine by here, so you can just refer back to and make sure you're painted in the right pieces. Just want to paint down. Take your time with it. See me doing this. Shots in shot. So essentially that's all there is to it. Just take your time with it. And when you do paint it, you'll have a nice looking helmet. I've already done the white helmet. It's not white anymore, obviously, but get that now. I have to come across shot. Excuse me. Here is what they look like, all masked up. That's the silver damage, all nice and masked up. Both panels. This is now ready for its first layer. So I'll go ahead now and finish this one up. Depending on how long this video takes, I'll either cut to me mixing the paint up, or it'll be in the next video. But we'll go over how to mix the paint up and the airbrush. We're going to be using a very simple air propellant airbrush. We're not using a compressor, just to show you that you can paint these helmets with the bare minimum and still get fantastic results. So yeah, quite a short video. Hope you enjoyed it. Next video now we'll look at finally putting some airbrush paint down. Thanks for watching.